happen to be
But I normally don't wear blue. You know, black's my
Happy
color.
Wednesday, Happy Wednesday, Happy Wednesday, Happy Wednesday. Yes, we have on blue today, darling, my daughter. Yes, yes, yes. Happy, happy, happy. How you doing, Hyacinth?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Hello, I'm Robert Henderson Jr. I'm the president, CEO,
Founder.
founder,
I like founder.
and president. I said president, CEO, founder of the
Mm-hmm.
Henderson Financial Group. I'm also the president, CEO, founder of the Henderson Insurance Company, and also
Mm-hmm.
Henderson Realty.
Realty.
I'm a certified financial planner, and I'm a certified tax
Mm-hmm.
coach. Yes, I am. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I love what we do at the Henderson Financial Group. 22 years ago, my beautiful, talented daughter came along and she says, Dad, I want to do what you do. I like serving people. I like helping people. All walks of life, all all shades, colors of
All
attitude,
different mental
all
positions.
different mental. She's learning so much. So she's been with me for 22 years.
Mhm.
And she's also a stockbroker,
Yes.
investment advisor, insurance
Yes.
advisor, annuity advisor. I'm so proud of her. She's not on drugs, and she has a good future ahead of her. So I really like that. Don't you like it too, High School?
I love it. When you mention not on drugs, oftentimes I think about the fact that I don't do drugs or smoke alcohol or hookah or drink alcohol or hookah or anything. And, the people who are sober should really receive a prize for being in this world
Yeah.
because the majority of people engage in some kind of substance.
Vices, some kind of vice, some substance abuse.
Right. And so I just, as I talk to myself in my head and I just like, there really should be a prize. But anyway,
The
I
prize
think.
is you're gonna live better, you think better, you're more clear. Your blood type is the blood is flowing.
Mhm.
You're taking care of yourself, your mind, body, and soul, and you're
Mhm.
also serving. That's what I love. What we do here at the Henderson Financial Group, we love to serve people because we know
Mhm.
that we were put on this planet to expand, expansion. Each and
Mhm.
every one of you all listening, looking. If you say, "Why am I here?" I'm telling you why you're here. You're here to grow and expand and grow and expand and learn.
Yes.
And while you're doing that, you're going to help and expand other people. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Like the different color flowers of the whole country, just different. Beautiful thing, rainbows.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. So today we're talking about what did I say I want to talk about?
Well, I titled it "It's Better to Do It Now." I figured that summed up what
Now
you
and
wanted to
later.
talk about.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
I have this thing because oftentimes I look back and I reflect. I do introspection. That's a good word. You should look at that introspection. It's self looking at yourself internally. Okay, not nobody else but yourself. Intro, going inside. And I look at myself a lot of times to find out how do I get here in the path that I've taken. And it's introspection. It's reflecting. But I also noticed I had one thing that I understood. I don't know how I understood. I didn't make it myself, but I understood it. Thank God that's why I know that there is another substance created because thoughts come to you, and you have to be, you have to be eager. You want more and you want better. And the thought came to me is that this thing called now and later. A lot of people have immediate gratification. I notice that most people don't have immediate gratification. They always lose, and it always takes me back to the story of the rabbit and the turtle. And the rabbit, everybody, the fact looks so like it can win on it, but the turtle always win and always won. And I always say here in 2023, I bet if you ask the whole world, let's bet, like the lotto, let's bet. You got a turtle and the rabbit is going to race. I bet 99% of the people will say the rabbit is going to win because it looks like it is fast, dynamically, body wise, chemistry. You say the rabbit. But the story is already, even if you know the story already been told, there's a lesson in that Aesop fable story, which is very crucial. And I think all of us should adapt that. Slow and steady always wins the race. It's better to do what's hard now, what's considered hard now, and later on you can play. So you're either going to play now and pay later, okay, or pay now and play later. Get that?
I got it. I
So you
love
can
it.
pay, and oftentimes when you're
Play.
young, it's a good time when you're young, you're mature, you're 10, 12, 11, just a kid. You plan, because then, you plan now, but then you got to work later, especially when you become a grown up. The problem is a lot of grown ups keep want to play. They pass 21, they still want to
Hmm.
play, and they 30 and they still want to play, and they 40 they still want to play. So when you do too much playing, I promise you, you pay, pay
Hmm.
later. And you have to understand the rabbit and the turtle metaphor.
Yeah. Speaking of the tortoise and the hare metaphor, it reminds me of something I was thinking about maybe yesterday about our people and their scams and the scammers, right? So on social media, there's a post going around where this guy shows you how to scam people's bank accounts, and it's a whole little it's a whole thing, right? He tells you what to do and with the bank and the card and this and this. So that was one post, and I was like, gosh, this takes a lot of energy and effort to figure all of this out and to do it, right? Right? And I was like, wow. So that's one. And then today I saw where they were saying in Atlanta, they're creating fake QR codes. You know how when you go to park, you would scan the QR code and put in your information to park. Well, the person showed them peeling a sticker off and it's a fake QR code. Somebody in their house, they created the QR code and they went around to the parking garage and they put it there. And again, I thought, gosh, a lot of time, energy, effort, and mind power. I'm like, wow, this is genius. This is creative, right? I never would have thought of this. Like, this is creative. And I said, I wonder what would happen. Like, dang, the scammers and stuff like that, they are so creative. They got the whole thing down pat. Why don't they put that same creativity and energy and follow through into something that's legit? But the thought that immediately came to mind is because when you're doing things that is legit, the money doesn't come as fast.
Right.
So when you get somebody's bank account, you go through that process, you can instant, right? You scan, you put a fake QR code and someone scans, you instantly have their information. So it reminded me as you were speaking about the tortoise and the hare and the person who feels like they're getting away, they're going to get away and they want to go fast, fast, fast. But then in the end, they end up behind. I instantly thought about those people. Right. Because then what happens either, right? So we know jail is a risk, but if they don't go to jail, studies show, statistics prove that when you're getting money that you don't really have to work for, I want to say you're getting money fast, you don't really save the money. No, so what's going to happen when they are 60 years old and they have nothing? No. Right. And then they start telling the stories of, remember back then we used to be doing this and we used to be doing that. But right now you have nothing. Right. So when you talked about the tortoise and the hare, it made me think about that and think about in society, I think the thing that, can I come unlock the back door, please? That's your granddaughter. You want to go unlock the back door? It's easier for you to slide out. Yeah, okay. All right, so Funky Wild Tootsie time. Parents, when the parents are away, the kids will play. Right? So no, let me continue. What was I saying? So when you think about what stops people from doing what they should be doing now is the time component, because oftentimes people want the result now. And so it's like, I want that instant gratification. I want to receive whatever it is that I want now. And because that I want it now and I am not able to hold off and talk to myself and say, listen, if you do what's harder, if you do what's more intense now, then you will have what you really want for a longer period of time. People don't do that. So as Mr. Henderson was sharing that tortoise and the hare story, it made me think about that, because I'm like, dang, y'all get really creative with these scams. But let's go into the topic. It's better to do it now than to wait. Okay, you're back. Yes. Very good. Did you tell her we were doing the show? Yes. What did she say? I'm sorry, Grandpa. Yes. It's almost y'all season, but first Leo season. It's my season every day. Here we go. All right, so it's better to do it now. What inspired you to talk about this?
Because today's so topic. Many people in the world that miss this, miss that wisdom, Because most people, they don't want to sacrifice. Most people want immediate gratification. And it always gets you in the end. That quick, fast, and hurry stuff, it never lasts. Yeah. It always fades. And you can tell a person how they earn their money. If you're earning real fast, they spend it real fast. Yeah. They really, really do.
Yeah, and it happens with everyday situations too. So now that I've regained access to my email account, I thought about this earlier when I got access back in, right? So I was locked out of my email account for 5 days. And when I got back in, I thought about the fact that a lot of these websites they had started sending messages saying, instead of using your cell phone number for 2-factor authentication, download an app. It's more secure. It's better. Download an app instead of using your cell phone where they text you a message. And I was like, I don't need that. They could text me. That's fine. But then I changed my phone number.
Right.
So right. I changed my phone number. And so when I was trying to get in my email last week, I hit a button anyway. I got locked out and it kept texting my old number. So that's why when you ask me, how do you get locked out of your email, I shouldn't dare tell you until it was over that it's because they were texting the old number because I didn't want to hear you should have changed your number, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing about it's better to do it now. After this was all said and done, and the Microsoft gentleman helped me out today, I said, dang, when they were sending out those messages saying you should download an app to verify your account instead of relying on text message, I was like, text message is fine. I delayed it. So this is a perfect example of it's better to do something now instead of putting it off. So I bring this example to the show because yes, we're talking about money. We're talking about scammers and things like that. And we just talked about my email being locked out for 5 days, which I was like, oh my gosh, if I can't ever get back in my email, this is going to be a big deal. The first day I was like, okay, I get a vacation. But after the first day, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. So,
you know what? I'm wondering, are your mics,
oh, your volume is down. Oh, you just saw that. Who keeps touching that?
As a matter of fact, we did it for Saturday.
Oh, so they can't hear you. They can only hear me.
I wonder, can they hear me? If y'all can hear me,
I'm looking at the thing now. They can hear you through me. Yeah. They can hear you through me.
If y'all can hear me clear, just put a 1 in the post. Right? Just post a 1 if y'all.
They cannot.
So you don't think they can hear me good?
I'm looking at the mixer right now. It's down.
Yeah, I know.
So you want me to?
And James, it's probably easier for you for me to go across, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just went downstairs, open the door for your granddaughter. I mean, your daughter, my granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's your time now to go right there and turn that volume up. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna talk while you're doing it.
Okay. All right. Let me do it.
He said, I'm hearing you, but you're very low.
Because they can only hear you through me.
Mike, Miss Redhead just said turn the mic all the way up. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Miss Redhead, you can hear me better now, right? Yeah, me and James C turned it down because.
Why did you do that?
Because both mics up and was getting static on Saturday. Okay, so I remember to do that.
Oh well, I'm glad you remembered after 12 minutes of being live.
That's okay. It's just time.
It's just time.
And we got more of that.
And time is an illusion.
And we have more of that.
So what were we talking about? So, okay. Oh, much better now, says Aaron. Okay, so
much better. Thanks, Aaron.
So thinking about what you should be doing now,
yes,
instead of putting it off.
Yeah, now or later. What is it now or later? You know, anytime you say I should have, that tells you that you put it off.
Yes, I agree. I should have did like me and my phone.
I should have did it. I should have. That right there tells you how many times do we say, "Man, I should have done this. I should have bought that land." You know. Now look at the value of it. It's 5 years because time go by so fast.
That's a good one.
And you're like, man, I should have bought that land when I said I should have bought that property. Now look at real estate. Oh my God, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I should have done that. You know, or so when we say that a lot, I should have. That tells you in the world of now or later. That's why I don't really like postponing retirement 401ks, IRAs, 457 plans. All of those are like, nah, don't do it now. Pay it later.
Pay the taxes later.
Right. When you pay it later, everything costs more money later. Remember, the stamp used to be 10 cents for a stamp. Now it's 63 or 66 cents.
You're blown away by that, huh?
Yeah, because I can relate to that. I mean, really, if you don't do it now and you do it later, it's always worse later. It's like you want to study a test now. You want to study to get this, learn this, right? Yeah? And you want to put it off until later. Later, man, let me tell you something. Later, a whole lot of stuff, man. You done gain a couple weights, a couple pounds. You're tired. You just, you got so much going on, and it just stacks on. Have you ever say you're gonna clean your room up later? Every time, I'm cleaning up later. And it take you a month to clean your room up, and you've been saying that a month ago. A month has passed. Do you think your room is messier after a month, or if you would have cleaned it up a month ago? It's like, I'm gonna take my hair loose. Today. I'm getting close to it. Just do it.
Let's go back to, I like that you brought in the deferring the retirement plans.
Yes.
Because I was explaining to my daughter, today's Wednesday, maybe Monday night, we were having a conversation, and I was telling her about one of the new calls we received. I had a conversation with a new client on Monday, and he's 54.
Okay.
And he wants to retire.
Okay.
He's going to retire. His position, he's a professional. He's pretty highly ranked in his profession.
Okay.
And he, in one of his accounts, we're only talking about one, he has about $700,000,
Okay.
and it's a retirement account. So I was talking to her and I said to her, first of all, he's going to have to pay the 10% early withdrawal fees because he's under 59 and a half.
If he takes the money out.
If he takes money out.
Right.
And then also, let's just conservatively say he's in the 20% tax bracket, which we know he's higher because I know his income. So that's 30%. So you got 20% for early withdrawal plus 10%, 20% for taxes and 10% for early withdrawal. So that's 30%. So he wants to retire when he's going to be like 54, 55, and he has all these plans. And I said to her, I said, Kai, well, 7 times 3 is 21. So he thinks he has $700,000 in his account, but he's going to have to take a haircut of $210,000. And she says, "What did he say when you told him that?" I said, "I didn't tell him that yet. I didn't tell him that yet." And she said, "Does he know?" And I said, "Well, when you sign up for these accounts, they tell you don't have to pay taxes now. You don't have to pay taxes now." She says, "Well, why would he want to retire?" I said, "Kai, we get this with so many people because they just don't know." I said, "That's why we're in business." But when you mentioned deferring something, I want everyone listening to understand this. When we're talking about putting something off for later in which you could be doing now, this doesn't just apply to cleaning your room. It doesn't just apply to changing your, downloading an app so you can get in. It applies to literally everything in life. Most times it's sneaky.
Your medical condition.
Right.
And stage 1, you say you're going to put it off when to stage 4.
But it's sneaky. What I'm saying is it's sneaky. So you have to learn how to listen between the lines, because when he was signing up, and majority of people, when you're signing up for this plan and they say, "Oh, put your money in here, you don't have to pay taxes, it's tax deferred," or whatever they say, all you're hearing initially is you don't have to pay taxes on it. You're not thinking about the larger picture. Okay, if I put my money in here now and I don't have to pay taxes, the only reason that I am putting my money in here, well, the main reason I'm putting my money into this account is because I want it to grow. So if I put it here and I expect it to grow, why would I want to pay taxes on something later? So this ties back into Mr. Henderson's topic. It is better to do it now, but it's not presented to you that way. Same thing with medical. I had a meeting with someone earlier this week, and I'm talking to him about life insurance, and he's like, he's healthy. And when's the last time? I said, "Who's your physician?" "I don't have a physician." And I was like, "Well, when's the last time you've been to the doctor?" "Well, I don't really go to the doctor." "Well, how do you know you're healthy?" "Well, I had a little cough. I went to the ER and they said everything was fine." And I said, "No, that's not how this works."
Right.
You need to be able to go to a physician ahead of time instead of deferring your health checkups until you're coughing or your body can't move and things like that. So my point is, when we ask, is it better to do it now? This applies to everything in life, and it's so subtle and so sneaky that you may not even realize that you are deferring some very important decisions that can cost you greater later.
As you was talking, one of my favorite questions is, as you was talking about this person, one of my favorite questions is, how old is he?
The doctor person?
No, the person you was talking to that said that he just cough. He
doesn't go unless he goes.
And so I always want to know, how old is he? Because I'm trying to figure out, at a certain age, basic principles you should have learned. I mean, I'm not saying in terms of, has nothing to do with finance. It's just basic. Listen, I believe if you're paying attention, by the time you're 40 years old, think about it. I want you all to reflect from being 1 year old to 40 years old. That's 40 years. You've been looking, you've been hearing, you went through the cartoon area, you went through the middle school, elementary school, you've seen this, you've seen 999, you've seen your little groupies, you went through high school, you went through college, you went through people that just says oh my God, we in love, and next thing you know they divorced. So you know how things can go. You went through the team on the side that it was 2 minutes left in the game, they just showing out, we won, and the other team ran the kickoff back, and they, oh my God, look what happened. You've seen all kind of miracles. You've seen stuff. You've seen it. You heard all this stuff. You even heard the man that's physically run marathons in shape all of a sudden just drop dead from a heart attack. I mean, you've seen all that. We've seen the movies that in the movies, the bad guys at the end of the movie, what happened to the bad guys? Most of the time,
they get caught.
Mm-hmm. They get caught. And then you see 2 robbers here they're getting ready to break into jewelry, and they're thieves doing heist. Mm-hmm. We already know they're gonna turn on each other
Mm-hmm.
because the greed. So you
Mhm.
know greed factor.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things you should know, and then you definitely should have known and heard about the turtle and the rabbit
Tortoise in
story.
the hair. A lot of people haven't though.
They haven't
Mm-mm.
that whole principle because
Mm-mm.
it's metaphor. You also should know just the basic principle what gravity does. What goes up comes down. And listen, and you should have known that you thought your girlfriends and boyfriends, all your homeboys and your girlfriends, you thought y'all was just so tight, y'all loved, y'all cried each other until one started dating your girlfriend. So you know that could happen. You know what I mean? I mean, you've seen all this. That's what I mean. So that's why I say by the time you're 40, man, you probably went to jail, got arrested, got out. You know, you certainly got a ticket by now. Hopefully well, I don't know, everybody hadn't got a ticket. I used to have so many parking tickets. I'm so glad
That's back when you was Junebug.
when I was Junebug, man, I was going to college. I was 21 years old. I didn't even care about parking tickets. I just park. I just park. I didn't get time.
Well, because you had the money, did you? You said I'll just
21?
pay. Well, what was that? Because then that was irresponsible. You didn't have the money?
I was 21.
Okay.
I was still
Because
trying
you're
to deal with it
okay.
later. You know?
All right. So
But
you were
I had to
deferring
get
that.
somewhere. I had to get somewhere.
Oh, and
I
then
mean,
you had to
I got
pay
to a
extra.
point when I remember I was going downtown Miami and I run into a store and I couldn't find no parking. So I would put my blinkers on
Mm-hmm.
and I put my hood up, like how it broke down.
Oh,
I
my
would go into the
goodness.
store and buy something and come back out and put it down and drive away.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of
Wild times, huh?
Yeah. But yeah. So in other words, that's why I always ask, how old are these
Well,
people?
it's not a function of age. I understand what you're saying. And in the perfect world, it should, right? But we know we don't live in a perfect world and everybody's world is different. And we should on people, right?
Yeah.
So experience and how we process those experiences and how we think about those experiences determines what we do next, what we do at our next encounter. So I 1000% understand why you're asking, like, how old are you? Like, this is what you're thinking?
Yeah. Because
But we can
think about this. 4 years ago, just think about this for a second. They've been scaring the dickens out of us. They scared the dickens out of people saying about the debt ceiling, the Democrats, Republicans, and if they don't pay the debt.
Is that happening right now?
No.
Oh.
They do that all the time. They do that all the time, and people really get anxiety when they already know they're going to pass it. The other thing is they've been scaring the heck out of people about this recession. And they always, since last year. And so what I'm trying to say, this too shall pass. And so you got to stop freaking out when you're hearing this chatter about the news. This going to happen, this going to happen, this going to happen. Let me tell you something. If you'd have bought real estate 3 years ago, the values are up a whole lot today. And 3 years ago, it was supposed to be doom and gloom. A year ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, it's supposed to be doom and gloom. And right now, they're still trying to doom and gloom us. So my whole point is that you can't follow the masses. You can't follow the chatter because the media and America, there's opportunity, but America, the government don't make anything. America, the government gets its money from us, taxing us. And the rich have figured out how to get around that. What they do is they get most of the income they get most of the money from borrowing from themselves. They use the insurance policies. You know what I mean? They have the assets. When you have stock, you can just borrow from the stock and live for the rest of your year. The rest of the year, every year you can borrow from your insurance policy. You can do so now. You're not being taxed on income because you don't get income. You know what I mean? So they figure that out. They buy a lot of real estate. Billions of dollars of real estate, and they just pull equity out to live. And then next year, the real estate value goes up more, and it keeps going up and up. One thing that real estate, it will have a pullback, but it's temporarily. So I'm saying that because I want you guys to really understand. Stop running away from things that at present seem to be hard to do. Anything that seems to be hard to do at present, that is your key. This is good. That's your key. Taking medicine, eating that kind of food Heisey eat, it's hard to do. But later on, it's better for you. You know what I mean? It really, really is. It really, really is. And you get used to it. You understand? So that's what I mean by pay now and play later. Or if you don't want to, you just want to keep on playing, I promise you, nobody gets away. You will pay dearly later. Am I wrong or right? Why are you cracking up?
What did you have for breakfast?
I had some yoga and strawberries.
Okay.
I had a little thing of yoga and strawberry, a little parfait,
Was it coconut yogurt?
Was it called?
Oh, it was that was yours I saw the other day in the refrigerator from Publix. You buy those?
Yeah.
That's not good for you.
Oh God, it was yoga and it was pineapples and it was strawberry. And
you're not a cow.
Well, but strawberries, I mean,
Okay, so so I was having.
So pick back up when I say pay now, do the hard things now. I promise you, later on, you're gonna be so happy.
Yes, agree? I agree. I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with
Across
you.
the board.
Across the board, but I want to tie this into practical everyday experiences that we have, because I think by now people understand what we're saying is that you need to do it now. But let's tie this into some real life experiences. Let's go to, since we're talking about we're the money people, right? So let's go to money. One of the things that I find, and we find that people have challenges with, is paying themselves right now, even though they don't want to work forever and they want to live forever at the same time. But when I say, hey, you should be putting away $1,000 a month into this account right now for your future self, people often have a hard time doing that. And it never fails. We always get the calls where people call us and say, oh, I wish I had found you 10 years ago. I wish I knew about you 20 years ago. I wish I knew about you. And I kind of just quiet and be like, geez, because in my mind, I'm thinking, I wonder if you were at the consciousness to where you would have been able to not only find us, but also do what we tell you to do.
Right.
So I think all of us who are listening here today should take that into consideration as we talk about it's better to do it now. Assess everything in your life. It's almost like here's an example to help you realize the power of doing it now. When I have my things to do list and I'm only focusing on my things to do list, and I'm going down my list, and Mr. Henderson wants to come in and hi, see, and I'm like, I'm going down my list. I am so laser in and focused. I get so much accomplished because I am doing the things that are on my list that I know that I need to do now. And then it lightens my load. Have you ever experienced that? Sometimes I see you with the little checklist in there.
Yeah, and you just come right in and just skip the line all the time.
I feel that I mean, what line? Is it? It's an imaginary line.
I'm like, hey, you got I'm like, okay, I see, okay. I always have to tell you, but when somebody come in here, you're like, okay, yeah, you do. She like just get right in front of the line. I could be doing this, doing that. Dad, I need you, But yeah.
How else should it be?
Oh yeah, goddess.
How else should it be?
Oh my God. Okay.
But sometimes I do say, is now a good time? Should I come back?
Yeah.
Can you give me that?
Yeah. Sometimes you say that when I'm just like focused and I'm looking at you.
Clearly ignoring me. Right. Right. But going back, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like get in line? What are you talking about? This is not my reality.
But you said something so interesting that it's amazing. Some people come to us and they say they want it better, they want more. But I just cannot understand when we tell some people to, save some money for yourself. That is the hardest thing for most people to do.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I can see if I say save some for John, save more for Sally. But I'm saying pay yourself first. Pay yourself more. They're like, I don't know if I can do that. I gotta get my nails done. I like to go out every weekend. I gotta go shopping. I gotta do all that. But when you're doing that, you're taking your power that you have and you're giving it to the merchants and making them richer and wealthier. It's okay to do that. I'm not saying not get your nails done. I'm saying, but you have a plan to say, okay, certain amount of money, I am getting paid first. That is a strong, strong message to yourself when you say, listen, I make certain amount of money, but I'm going to at least pay myself 10 or 20% of my money. What I earn is for me to keep. And oh my God, that little simple thought blows so many people away. And I'm like, what? Where are you?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we were talking about when we were talking about the scammers and how they have all this creativity and they can learn a system, but they learn the system, they take the time to learn it, implement it, and do it. And their scams require a lot of energy. When I say energy, a lot of effort to do, but they do it because they could see the result immediately. And so going back to people who find it challenging when it comes to saving their money or setting aside money for themselves. And I always tell people, when you are saving money, saving, air quoting, saving money, you're actually setting it aside. You're either setting it aside to spend it or setting it aside to invest it. And a lot of times people find that challenging because they don't realize that the set aside money is for them. They don't realize that, and so instead they want to pay the other people, the merchants or whoever it may be, instead of setting some money aside for themselves first. And I'm not saying that you can't live a good life and get your nails done and do all this, because standing appointments matter, but we are saying that you should be able to do both. So let's unpack why people have a challenging time with doing things now.
I think it's we've been programmed, and
Mhm.
it's cultural, and people do what other people do. Because
Mhm.
here's a guy that was paying $700 a month for his BMW.
Mhm.
When time came for him to pay it off, he could not save $700 for himself.
Mhm.
He was able to pay BMW,
Mhm.
every month,
Mhm.
because he didn't want to repossess his car. But as soon as his payment was over, his mind shifted. It's like, oh, now I can spend this money. What we do at the Henderson Financial Group, we tell you, since you are accustomed to paying BMW $700 a month, we're going to show you, and you got 5-6 more years. What if we set it up where you can pay that BMW off instead of 6 years, $700 a month? We're going to have it where you pay it off in 2 years,
Mhm.
$700 a month. So now the other 4 years, we want you to save it for yourself, because you 700, you're still gonna have 700. You're either gonna pay BMW for 6 years, or we're gonna cut it where you only have to pay BMW for 2 years and it's paid off. Those other 4 years are forgiven, but we don't want you to junk the money up. We want you to act like you're still paying somebody, since you're accustomed to paying a bill. So pay yourself. People will still be saying, no, I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
I want to spend my money now. It's not an old BMW. No. If you paying them, pay yourself. You more important than any merchant, because you are the thinker that think the thought, and you make all of this work. Think about it.
Yeah, a solution to that could be, or something to help you if you have a problem or if you find it challenging doing things now. And this can apply to you going to the doctor, you eating your fruits and vegetables, you saving, whatever it is. Visualize, get a clear picture in your mind's eye is what we call it in the woo-woo world, right? In your mind's eye, get a clear picture of the life that you want to live. Like, get a clear picture of your highest self, your highest version of yourself. How does that person look? What type of life does that person live? And so if you have this clear picture of you, like, because you're like, dang, I'm living this life, but I really should be this, or I really want this, I really feel that my life should be this way. Get that picture, make it so clear, and then ask yourself, when a decision comes, should you do this now or should you do it later? What would your highest self do? What would your higher self do? If you defer it, if you put it off, if you don't go to the doctor, if you don't save your money and set it aside, are you going to be able to live as the version in your mind's eye, what we call our highest self? Are you going to be able to do that? And I think that'll give people something to look forward to and something to aim at, because we know, like I tell people all the time, we know 2 + 2 = 4. We know if you spend more than you have, you're going to need some more money. You're going to have to borrow from somebody. We already know these things, but clearly that's not working, right? So just saying that isn't working. And it's largely because we are conditioned. We are literally conditioned every single day of our lives. We are being constantly like jugged at to get us off track.
Advertised to, yes.
So your counter to that is creating a version in your mind. You might even, if you like me, child, my office at home, above my desk, I have the qualities, the attributes, what that person looks like, what they wear, a lot of other specific details, what the money looks like, all of these things. And so now when it's time for me to make decisions, When it's time for me to do certain things, okay, am I going to eat a double Whopper cut in half, extra hot off the broiler, heavy mayo, heavy ketchup? Well, how's that going to make me feel? Is that going to make me feel in alignment with the highest version that I have of myself?
Yeah, you got to be able to see yourself
And that will
in the
help,
future.
because a lot of times we don't. People get so caught up in the now, and I empathize with you. I understand it's challenging. It's not impossible, but it is challenging to break free of what the masses are doing and say, nah, I'm gonna make a different choice. Nah, I'm gonna do something different. I know it smell good, look good, taste good. I know it feel good, but I'm gonna do something different. That can be very, very challenging. We don't want to discount the fact that that is challenging.
Well, genius is
Mhm.
making yourself do the things that you know you ought to be doing
Mm-hmm.
when you just don't feel like doing it.
Mm.
That's what genius is. And all of us should be trying to master ourselves.
Mhm.
I mean, because if anybody you want to master,
Mm-hmm.
it's yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work. You want to master yourself because you're the king, the queen. You make a decision. You the one think the thoughts. I mean, you don't have to check with nobody on what thought you're gonna, what
Mhm.
decision you're gonna make. You really don't have to. You're not a slave. So think about it. You have a lot of power. We have a lot of power in and of ourselves. We really do. We don't have. There's certain things when it comes to how we're going to spend our money, save our money, invest our money. How are we going to? What moves we're gonna make? Like I said, we are the thinker that think the thoughts. I think that we uh, shorthand ourselves. We think that we don't not as powerful as we are. But when you take your power back and say, I really am the master of myself, and I can create, I can determine, and I can have the discipline and stick to itness, and I can commit that I'm going to have a certain amount of money at the end of the year. And that's a grown-up move.
Yeah.
It really is, because like Heisey said, when you do that, the years go by so fast. The next thing you know, it's been 3 years. And you're like, oh my God, I've done this. And you feel proud of yourself. That's what we call expanding and growing. That's what part of expansion and growth. And all the holy books, the ancient books, tell us that we're supposed to expand and grow. We become more happier, more healthier, just feeling good. And you become nicer because, you don't have the stress goals. You're worrying about stuff that, in a sense, worry about stuff that you can't control. So if you start mastering yourself and working on mastering yourself, the things that you can control, trust me, that's enough.
And it's an everyday thing. Let me say that. Let us say that it's every day. So you see us here, but it's every day I do voiceovers in my head.
Yes.
I talk to myself every single day about making the choice that is going to move the ball down the line. Making the choice that is going to evolve me, because it's easy to be like, girl, you ain't watched that new Gabrielle Union movie yet. You said you wanted to watch it and you ain't watched it yet. Girl, get in that bed and watch the movie. It's easy to do those things. It's easy to say, go get you a dozen from Krispy Kreme hot now. It's easy. It's easy to say, go get those shoes or go get whatever the case may be. But that's why we go back to thinking about the version of your highest self. Like, you got to hold that in your mind. And what'll help you, because a lot of times people believe that where they are now, a lot of y'all believe that where you are now is where you're supposed to be forever.
Yeah.
It's like, this is where I am. I may have made it. I'm comfortable. I have arrived. This is where I am supposed to be forever. And to that, I want you to understand that there are mountain peaks and valley lows. What I mean by that is, right now, you may be at the peak. You may be at the top of your game at this level, but understand that the mountain does not stop where you are. The mountain goes beyond where you can even see. So when someone up top, if you're up top, when you rise to the top, you'll be like, dang, I thought I was at a peak, but I really was lower. So not to make you feel like you aren't doing enough, but what I want you to understand is you can always do more. So you may be at a peak, but understand there's another peak up there for you to reach. And that in itself will free somebody, because oftentimes we get so stuck in our current reality and we believe that this is how it's supposed to be forever. I'm supposed to be this way forever. And then when you do that, you limit yourself, because the whole world, our whole purpose to evolving, aka learning and loving. I say learning and loving.
Yes.
And learning is about evolving. And the more you learn, the more you evolve, the more you love. So if you think, how long have I been comfortable at this position? Because I'm at a peak now, but understand, baby, it's so many peaks above you, you ain't even seen them.
When I was listening to you,
Mm-hmm.
easy, I think easy has the total advantage. Everything that's easy it's easy. It's more plentiful. It's easy. It's like hanging fruit. Hard is tough. Now, let me explain what I mean. When you go into a gym and you say you want to, you want to work out, you want to
Mhm.
start learning, if you just lift 1 pound, that's easy,
Mhm.
But if you lift a little heavier weight, it's hard. But one thing that I noticed when you lift a little easy weight, you don't get any results. You really don't. You don't expand, you don't grow. But if you lift weight that's a little hard, heavier, you lift it today, you lift it this week, you lift it next week, the third week, by the next month, you lifting them that same weight, your muscles have expanded, have grown, and that weight is not heavy anymore.
I agree. And to add to that, you ever have a workout where you leave the gym and you aren't sweating and you feel like, dang, I just spent an hour in there and I don't really feel like I had a good workout because I took it easy.
Right.
We've all been there. You took it easy on yourself during your workout, and then when the workout is over, not during the time that you're taking it easy, while you're taking it easy, you're like, yeah, buddy, I'm in here, but I'm just taking it easy. I'm just
Right.
strolling. I'm just doing a little. But when you start to leave, you're gonna be like, dang, did I really get a workout in?
Right. And
I'm not sore the next day.
and easy is
Yeah.
so easy. It's so plentiful.
Yeah.
I mean, easy. You want to just easy is always rolling down the hill.
Okay.
Easy is
Simpsons.
I'm speaking metaphorically. When we
Mhm.
talk about weight and lifting and all that, going to the gym, we talking metaphor. We leave an example of how life works.
Mhm.
Because think about a hill. Use your imagination. Here's a green hill. Now, going up the hill, you got to use your buttocks to get up to the top.
In your core.
In your core
Mhm.
to get to that top. Some of us huffing and puffing, but it's harder to go up that hill getting to the top. It's much easier to roll down the hill.
Now you're a pro. You good. I ain't feel that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then think about it, when you're using your buttocks and your core to walk up the hill, when you get to the top of the hill, you could see better.
Mhm.
You can see valleys, you can see distance, you can see probably another city. You can see because you're higher in consciousness.
We were in tabletop. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Mountain.
In that South Africa. But you higher.
Get up.
And you looking at that. Now, this is a metaphor, but this is how life really works. You're higher and you can see. You can see your viewpoint is much more vast and clear than if you took it easy and was at the bottom of the pyramid or even at the hill.
Yeah, but you don't really you have to refer back. So we're giving you these examples because us telling you again is not enough. I'm a firm believer in that we can motivate you and yes
You gotta
and
do
this and by the time
gotta
you
do
click off, you're going back to always. What I want you to do is visualize a time when you literally got to the top of something.
How you felt?
How did you feel? And then in contrast, visualize, go bring forward a time when you half behind something. You didn't put your most effort. And then afterwards you was like, I should have, could have, would have. Man, I should have studied harder.
You're like,
I
okay,
shoulda
do
did
you
this.
remember when you learned how to ride a bike?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I do. I was in Richmond Heights.
Okay.
Mhm.
That was so now you wouldn't falling no more, right?
Mhm.
Do you remember when you learned how to swim?
Yes.
That's, oh my God.
Yes.
You couldn't swim and then you cough, you went under, you thought you were gonna die, but you made it through, and then
I did think I was gonna die.
yeah, you did, right? That was frightening. And then now you can swim and then you feel conquered, you feel good,
Mhm.
These are the beginning steps of how your life should be. Right on down to your finances, right on down to your health, right on down to everything. Nothing escapes this pattern, these principles. Do what's hard now, and you will benefit later. A child that's going to school, college for engineering, is that considered hard? Engineer, a chemical engineer, bioengineer, electrical engineer. Nah, you're almost sure they're gonna get a job.
Mhm. Yeah, it may seem hard now because they may be sacrificing going out, hanging with the friends, watching TV, or doing things like that. But when they're in their field, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I got a job. This is what I do. Oh, it's child's play." That type of thing.
Exactly.
So think about that. Another thing I want you all to think about or consider implementing is making your bed before you leave the house.
Oh, that's tough.
You don't.
Why you always tease me? I set my program up the way I have it. I set it up. You know that, right? I mean, I set it up.
You
Don't-
did
don't-
what's
don't-
hard so
don't.
that you can have it easy now.
That's
You don't
right.
even have to. When the
That's
last
right.
time you made a bed?
Oh, I pay. I work. I put in the dollars. I make everything happen.
But I just can't believe
That's
you
the
like that's
benefits.
hard.
That's the benefits. That's
Right.
the
You put in the
benefits.
work so you don't have to make up your bed.
As soon as I figured out, listen, I'm telling you, that's why I want to talk about this. As soon as I figured out, man, on every aspect of your life, if you go toward what's hard, I
Oh my
promise you,
God.
you have a good life. Stop taking the easy stuff.
And it's not that you're gonna completely have it easy later, because we work. Like last night, I was like to my daughter, I was like, but we have a good life.
you always
We
got-
work.
Yeah, you always got
It's
to
always trade off.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
always trade off. You always
We-
got to continue to do hard. You want to go higher, you got to do some
Right.
hard
It's
stuff.
still gonna be hard, but
Yeah.
you don't have to do it. So let's go back. So for those of you, because a lot of people don't make up their bed. Not only Mr. Henderson, a lot of you don't make up your bed before leaving the
I
house.
have somebody to make the bed up. Thank you. Don't hate.
I'm just.
Hate.
I'm just.
She hating because
I gotta make my own bed up.
She got to make her own
I
bed
mean,
up.
but if I was married, my husband wouldn't be making up my bed.
No.
No.
Oh, well, it depends on what kind of husband you got.
I
He
won't
might
pick
be a
him.
bed makeup husband.
Nah,
He might
nah.
Well,
He-
you know, some
I don't
you
know.
can't
Maybe.
say that.
Okay. Maybe. Let's
He
not.
might
Let's,
like his bed made up.
but I make up my bed every morning.
Okay.
It's only one side.
I
just-
brush my teeth every morning.
Woo, cool voice for
Woo,
you.
okay.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Every morning and every night.
And then okay, all right,
we gotta
go
go.
start.
We
So
gotta
what
go.
I wanted to give the audience something to think about
Okay.
as
'Cause I got
far
an appointment.
as to implement. I know it's can you just slow down a little bit? I want to give you something as we talk about shifting from putting things off, as a lot of us it can be something so small that we put off. That's really what today's show is about, putting things off. I want to encourage you to start the tradition if you don't already do it, or if you're not like Mr. Henderson and have somebody to make up your bed for you.
Don't hate.
To start the position. It's a little hateration in there. To start the tradition of making up your bed every rising. I want you to do that. I want you to do that because once you start doing it, you'll start to understand, like, dang, it takes a little bit of effort to do it. But let's say you do it like 7 days in a row, and then on the 8th day, you're rushing out and you don't do it. See how you feel when you come in and that bed isn't made up. See how you feel when you open your room door. If you close the door, I close the door when I leave to keep the bad guys out. So when I get home, they can't get in because I close the door. But anyway, see how you feel then when you come in. Let's say you're doing it consistently for 7 days or 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, and then you miss a day where you don't make up your bed. Watch how you energetically feel when you open that door, when you walk into your bedroom and you see your bed not made up. The first thing you're going to say is, dang, I didn't make up the bed. I should have made up that bed. I could have taken the time to make up the bed. So I'm using that as an example and as a small way for you to start shifting your reality and strengthening your muscle of you doing now what you don't want to do, but you need to do so that you can feel how it feels when you actually do it. I can feel your energy, like blah, blah, blah. We got to go. So this is, at least y'all get to see what I enjoy.
Look at Shay. Hey,
5
Shay,
days a week.
Do it now, Shay, not later.
Not later. Okay. All right. So
Say just
Mr.
popping
Henderson
in.
was late and he has to go early. Although he was late.
I was right on time.
Timing is always divine.
That's right. Divine order.
Always divine. Saturday, are you doing the show on Saturday?
No, I'm gonna be out of, I gotta go
Oh,
to
you
a
are
financial
traveling.
workshop
Oh
tomorrow.
my gosh, I'm not
Yeah.
going to see you tomorrow.
No, I'm gonna be at a financial
I'm
workshop.
going to be in the office tomorrow by myself because T's
Yeah.
out of town too.
Yeah, he's at a workshop.
Okay, party.
Yeah.
Let me order some takeout. I'm kidding. I don't really do takeout anyway,
I
but
miss you too, Shay. You go back and look at this
from the beginning.
From the beginning.
So you won't be here Saturday?
No.
So next Wednesday, I was going to say next Sunday. Next
Yes.
Wednesday, we will be
Yes.
back next Wednesday, but don't fret. All of our videos are on the Henderson Financial Group's Facebook page. You can always go back and watch them. If you are not an avid Facebook user, you can log onto YouTube and go back and watch the video. So until next time, we will see you next week. Stay
Peace.
safe and stay sane. Peace.
Peace.
Da-da-da-da.